Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. For this week's in-depth used car review, we will be taking a look at the X-Trail, which is Nissan's version of a 7-seater SUV. Back in 2013, Nissan discontinued the Qashqai Plus 2 and replaced it with a newer 7-seater version of the X-Trail. Customers used to regularly ask us for the Plus 2, but in a newer shape, which doesn't exist, and this is the reason why. Going forward in time, the X-Trail received a facelift in August 2017, going for a more modern look. It wasn't a dramatic restyle, and if you were a fan of the pre-facelift model, chances are you won't be offended by the update. It's pretty easy to mistake a post-2017 X-Trail for a Nissan Qashqai from the front. From the rear though, it's not so easy to make this mistake, as the rounded back end of the X-Trail is hugely different from the Qashqai. The trim levels from the bottom up are the Visaya, the Acenta Premium, N-Connector and top-of-the-range Tecna. Standard kit is pretty generous with 17-inch alloy wheels, Bluetooth, a DAB radio, aircon, cruise control and a multifunction steering wheel. The flagship Tecna spec adds 19-inch alloy wheels, self-parking and electric leather seats to its kit. Its direct competition in the used car market comes in the form of the Hyundai Santa Fe, Kia Sorento and Skoda Kodiaq, which are all SUVs that can seat 7. As a 5-seater, the X-Trail is similar in size to the Honda CR-V, so we will draw some comparisons in this review. Nissan has definitely followed the modern trend of softer, more family-friendly motoring designed for on-road driving, unlike the first and second generation X-Trails. Owners of the pre-facelift X-Trail won't recognise the latest one from the inside, but Qashqai owners will feel right at home. Its layout is identical to the Qashqai's, showcasing soft-touch materials with great fit and finish. However, the Skoda Kodiaq, Mazda CX-5 and a number of other new arrivals offer more modern designs and a greater feeling of interior quality. The cabin of the X-Trail feels very practical and comfortable. It is fit for purpose, although it's not the most exciting place to spend time in. The dash is clearly laid out with a large speedo and rev counter in the centre. Between them sits a small screen which can display a number of readings, including safety system information and the details about your trip's economy or vehicle performance. It's identical to what you will find in its brother, the Qashqai. The controls are nicely laid out, but Honda's CR-V does feel more comfortable to drive, with a well-positioned gear stick, while the interior quality of a Kia Sorento is superior to the Nissan's. The upgraded steering wheel makes it easier to see the dials and includes a heating element to keep your hands warm in the winter. The rear seating bench can be heated as a single item on some models also. When it comes down to cabin tech, we do feel the X-Trail is behind the rest of the competition. You do get some okay core features with the Nissan Connect Evo system, but we found it to be lacking some smartphone features that its rivals haven't missed out on. While Apple CarPlay and Android Auto aren't supported, Bluetooth for phone calls and audio streaming as well as DAB is included with Nissan Connect Evo. However, the menu system that comes in the badly positioned 7-inch screen is clunky and the graphics lack clarity compared to the clearer, larger screens fitted in rivals, such as the Skoda Kodiaq and the Peugeot 5008. As standard, the X-Trail is a big 5-seat family SUV. Some will have upgraded to a 7-seater which has 2 extra seats that fold out of the boot floor. The rows of seating are arranged in an ascending system, where every row sits a little higher than the one in front, so the extra back seats don't feel quite as claustrophobic as they could. The upgraded third row is only really big enough for children, even though all the rows slide forward and backwards by 26 centimetres. Not only do the seats slide, but they also recline, so you can arrange the seat configuration to suit your requirements. Internally, the X-Trail impresses with huge space. There's loads of room in the cabin and the doors open incredibly wide, making it super easy to get in and out. This new redesigned X-Trail is definitely bigger than the previous versions. There are enough cup holders for all, a good sized glove box and a useful compartment between the seats to store your possessions. Just remember that you don't get much boot space at all when making full use of the 7 seats. With all 7 seats in use, the X-Trail offers 445 litres of space, while in 5-seat form there's 565 litres. Both the middle and third rows can also fold flat, offering a huge 1,996 litres of space. The Nissan has some very cool practical touches, like a boot floor that moves up and down to create separated loading areas. Nissan actually claims a versatile X-Trail has 18 different configurations. This means you can vary the amount of space to keep objects from bouncing around the boot area. The electric tailgate works out to take a whole 7 seconds to operate. While we do find the speed of modern tailgates infuriating, slower is often safer. X-Trail models built after August 2017 added a waggle foot to open function, useful for when you're loading with children, shopping bags, or both. The Nissan is one of the larger vehicles in the medium SUV class. I won't bore you with the exact figures, but against the Ford Kuga and the Hyundai Santa Fe, it's slightly longer and it's also slightly taller. There are just 3 engines to choose from: a 1.6 litre, a 2 litre DCI diesel engine and one 1.6 litre DIGT petrol motor. Diesels come in both 2 or 4-wheel drive, while the petrol is only available as a 2-wheel drive. As I have mentioned a few times, it's not really an off-road vehicle, so it's more commonly seen on our roads in 2-wheel drive form. If economy is your priority, then a 2-wheel drive 1.6 litre DCI is the one to go for. With a claimed 57.6 miles per gallon and 129 grams per kilometre of CO2 whilst producing 130 HP. But it's the more powerful 2 litre DCI that provides the strongest performance of them all, with 177 horsepower. The 1.6 litre turbocharged petrol DIGT is an option for those that are looking for a petrol engine. It performs similar to the higher powered diesels, although fuel economy will not be anywhere as impressive. CO2 emissions start at 155 grams a kilometre for the entry level diesel, but soon climb to a high of 205 grams a kilometre if you opt for the all-wheel drive auto version. The X-Trail does have different towing capacities, depending on which engine and transmission combination you choose, starting from 1,500 kg and rising all the way up to 2,000 kg. Anyone looking for maximum pulling power is best to settle for a manual diesel. In becoming more of a road vehicle with less of a focus on off-road ability than its predecessors, the Nissan's comfort levels have shot through the roof. Even the majority of higher spec models come fitted with large 19-inch alloy wheels, which doesn't seem to affect ride comfort. The seats are supple and make travelling long journeys no issue at all, but it could do with a touch more support to keep you in place when you are taking corners at moderate speed. The diesel engine can sound a little throaty when worked hard. This is slightly exaggerated with the CVT automatic gearbox. There's noticeably more outside noise when compared against the Qashqai. To drive, it's certainly no sports car. The Nissan steering is nicely weighted, and although it leans quite a bit when you push it faster through corners, it doesn't ever feel unsafe. Just a little uncontrolled next to its composed rivals. There is a noticeable amount of body roll, and it can be prone to moving about a fair bit over harsh bumps in the road. The X-Trail feels a bit more clumsy and less comfortable than its brother the Qashqai. It still rides well, absorbing most lumps and bumps in the road, even with the larger 18-inch and 19-inch wheels. The X-Trail is no entertainer, but it's easy to drive for such a lumpy machine, thanks to light steering and a ton of safety tech. It also includes Nissan's intelligent trace control, which constantly monitors your speed and steering, adjusting your line for a corner if the car senses you're going to take it wide, rather than cutting in with juddering traction control once the car has lost its grip. Intelligent ride control appears too, using subtle engine braking to reduce vibrations over particularly bad roads or speed bumps. The facelifted Nissan X-Trail is a simple car to drive, with a small turning circle, accurate and light steering and a good forward visibility. On the road, it's difficult to notice any great differences between the 2 and the 4-wheel drive versions. Only when off-road or towing can you really notice the extra power and grip. However, the X-Trail is by no means the best off-roader on sale, so if that's your priority, then maybe look elsewhere, as the ground clearance isn't as impressive as, say, a Land Rover. If you often drive on country roads that can be especially bad in winter, you will likely appreciate the security and peace of mind the 4-wheel drive X-Trails can offer. You can choose between 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive with a rotary switch near the gear lever, although the system can automatically select all-wheel drive if it detects the wheel slipping. Relatively low power and performance plus a broad offering of safety equipment means the X-Trail is pretty competitive on insurance. In fact, the Nissan has dropped around 10 insurance groups compared with the old model, meaning cheaper running costs. All models fall into groups ranging from 17 to 21, depending on the exact spec. By comparison, the more powerful Honda CR-V starts at band 24. The X-Trail does score highly for safety, plus Nissan has a great reputation for producing reliable cars, which expertly deal with our day-to-day vehicle needs. There has only been a couple of recalls on the X-Trail that are worth being aware of if you are in the market to buy one. The first recall by the DVSA was on cars built between April 2015 and June 2016, regarding failure of an oxygen sensor. The other was an issue with the struts keeping the tailgate from staying open. Any issues from a recall should have been rectified by a Nissan dealer, but it's still best to check that any of this kind of work has been undertaken before you part with any of your money. So our verdict is that the X-Trail is essentially a bigger Qashqai, although as a 7-seater it's not the roomiest people carrier in that class. Vehicles such as the Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace, Kia Sorento, Skoda Kodiaq, Peugeot 5008 and Hyundai Santa Fe all have larger cabins. Elsewhere, large 5-seat SUVs such as the Mazda CX-5, Honda CR-V and Toyota RAV4 are worth considering if it's a large SUV with decent boot space that you need. The similarity of the X-Trail to the Qashqai inside the cabin means that it's stacked high with tech on the more expensive models in the range. Standard entry-level equipment includes 17-inch alloy wheels, aircon, a DAB radio and Bluetooth. while the top spec Techno models have upsized wheels, a Bose sound system, heated leather seats, increased safety kit. The X-Trail's key selling point is definitely that it is a family style SUV that seats 7. It's abandoned the rugged character of the older X-Trail models in favour of a more rounded look that it shares with the smaller Nissan Qashqai. In fact, the Qashqai and X-Trail share much more than a similar look, as they use the same platform, engines and interior gadgets. It is decent to drive too, with a comfortable ride and a good sense of composure at speed. Thanks for watching till the end. Please like and subscribe for more of our content.